It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Happy Friday, everybody. Good morning. Hope you're doing well and have good plans for your weekend, or at least for a restful weekend, whichever you choose. I hope it's fantastic. Let's do some news.
All right. A string of suspicious envelopes were delivered to or received by Secretary of State's offices in at least 15 states, including here in Missouri. Homeland Security is investigating. As for Missouri, they did receive a suspicious envelope, but it was identified in the mailroom. So they got it immediately removed, taken to a lab for testing. So far, nothing suspicious specifically has turned up in it. But we should be learning a lot more about this developing story later today. All right. Now to this, there have been several bomb threats at schools really across the country, including in Nixa. The latest was yesterday afternoon around 1 o'clock. Students had to evacuate the building at SB Elementary on South Gregg Road. Leaders say it was the fourth bomb threat of its kind yesterday across the state, all coming from the same IP address. However, there was a different threat at Nixa on Wednesday that was not from the same IP address. So that one was at Nixa's High Point Elementary. So the one that had the 4 IP addresses from the same one, or the 4 threats, they did track that down to a computer in Kansas City. They went to the man's house, questioned him. Turns out his IP address had been spoofed. So they talked to him, and he was not actually the guilty party because his IP address had been, stolen from him.
Oh man! So now,
yes,
you can't even trust IP addresses, and some innocent person sitting somewhere minding their own business could have the entire police force show up, and want to talk to you. So. And you have to prove that you're innocent.
Yeah, which he was able to do, thankfully.
That's brutal.
It's brutal.
Well, I didn't realize you could spoof IP address. I guess I should have known that, but
yeah, apparently so.
Okay, well then, how do we catch these people? It seems like it's going to be
I don't know, but I do feel like whenever it's widespread, I mean, we're talking multiple school districts across the state. I feel like they are on it because it's not an isolated incident and it's scary and it disrupts class. So they're going to, I don't know. Sure. I do feel they are one step ahead. Our intel is still one step ahead,
No, I don't know.
I really believe that to be true. Yeah. I don't know.
Let's hope so. Cause it's, what an awful thing to do to parents, to kids, it's teachers, it's everything. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Springfield, Cape Girardeau is being sued now in federal court. Federal lawsuit filed by 11 people accusing the diocese of enabling and concealing major crimes of sexual abuse to minors as young as 5 years old by employees over the course of decades. The plaintiffs are seeking $75 million in damages for abuse reported to have happened in the 80s and 90s. The lawsuit names 7 different priests and clergy. The lawsuit alleges abuse at churches in Springfield, Catholic churches in Springfield, Kimberling City, Neosho, Joplin, Carthage, and others.
All right.
Upgraded charges against a 23-year-old man accused of leading police on a chase that ultimately led to a police officer's death in Osage Beach. Christopher Waymeyer went from charges of aggravated fleeing a stop resulting in death to second-degree murder charges. 33-year-old police officer Felicia Carson was in pursuit before skidding off the road and hitting a tree with her patrol car, which burst into flames, and she was killed in that incident.
Yeah. Some Springfield third graders are going to have a really cool chance to learn about some history from the History Museum on the Square's Meet Missouri program. The museum got a big grant that will allow about 400 students to take part in some curated field trip experiences. One of the goals is to connect students to historical stories and people from right here in our community.
Okay, good for them. It's always neat to learn about history, especially when you can make it local and interesting.
Right.
Branson residents, heads up. It's time for fall cleanup, so you could dispose of large, unwanted items that trash haulers normally won't pick up the curb. Public Works will pick up big items like grills, mattresses, and furniture starting on September 23rd, which is Monday. So right around the corner. You need to get them ready this weekend. Go to the city's website, file a report and issue form to get the city to come out and pick up those big items. Lots of details because Public Works is breaking it down by wards, so there are different time periods involved. Check out Branson's website for your date to find out when they're coming to your neighborhood. There's also a drop-off that you can take places, so there's a lot to know, more than we can tell you here. So check it out, Branson's website.
Yep. All right. So how close are we to the big November election? Close enough that absentee voting starts on Tuesday. That's hard to believe. For the general election, September 24th, absentee opens. That's, of course, for people who cannot get to the poll on November 5th. Absentee ballots can be cast in person at the Greene County Election Center on North Boonville between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday. There you go.
And later, as we get closer to Election Day, there will be, I think, a 2-week period when it's no excuse needed absentee voting. You could just show up at the clerk's office. And you can actually vote. You can cast your ballot, and it's called no excuse, which is basically early voting.
Yeah.
Same type deal.
All right. And now to some weekend events, because the weekend is upon us. Don't forget Cider Days. We told you about that. That's happening here in Springfield on historic Walnut Street. That one is Saturday and Sunday. Also, it's the Springfield Reptile Expo that's happening at the Expo Center. It's actually at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. I said Expo Center because it has the word expo in it, but it's the Reptile Expo at the fairgrounds. That is this weekend. I
said pass.
Also, it's Oktoberfest in the Ozarks. That's on Saturday. So that's a lot of fun. Brats, pretzels, food trucks. So check that out. But if you go to aroundtheozarks.com and you look at our events page, there are all kinds of events happening. We know that it's like the Pumpkin Days at Silver Dollar City.
Yeah.
Also, at the other place in Branson. It's slipping my mind right now, but there's just so much going on. Marionville's Apple Fest is this weekend. So if you want to find some events going on, check out the events calendar at aroundtheozarks.com.
Yep.
Also, we had a contest there. And there are lots of people who entered, but only one winner. Are you ready for this, Ethan? Do you need me like a drum roll or something? That's not a very good drum roll, but we're going to go with it. Okay. Bonnie Cannon from Springfield is the winner.
Way to go, Bonnie.
Congratulations to Bonnie Cannon from Springfield. Great. She will win. She will get a Willie Roaf jersey. He's a Hall of Famer, Chiefs player.
Nasty Willie.
Nasty Willie. Yeah, that's his nickname. If you didn't know, Bonnie, now you do. And you also get some Branson official vacation destination of the Kansas City Chiefs custom gear. So congratulations to her. And join us again next week for a new contest. And don't forget that if it's not gear, like signed jerseys from Hall of Famers, it's tickets to games at Arrowhead. So some really fun, cool prizes, worth winning, worth playing. You can do that at aroundtheozarks.com. Just click on contest and you will see the Branson Bowl.
It's on your smartphone as well. You can get the app, which makes it nice. And you can also, while you're there, get all the podcasts that we do. We do a lot of podcasts, not just ours. Abby Dyer's on there. Joy Robertson, Emily Wood, lots of people on there doing podcasts now, so you can check them all out.
Yeah, very fun. All right. I think that's it. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you have a really great weekend.
Absolutely. We'll see you back here bright and early on Monday. Bye.
Sounds good.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Rescue Towing and Command Family Medicine. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. We made it to Friday. It is Friday, September 20th, and I am sure glad to be starting my day with you. Thanks for tuning in to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. We are waking up to warm temperatures already, numbers in the 60s. We're going to do a rewind today and go back to like July weather. High temperatures will make it to the 90s across the region today. And it's just going to be a hot one. I have high temperatures that are likely going to top out in the low to mid 90s area wide, lots of sunshine across the area and some high humidity as well. So if you have anything going on outside, not going to be too comfortable. We have high heat in the forecast today. And yes, there's a small chance for some scattered showers, but I really think most of the rain chances hold off for us as we head closer to Saturday and Sunday of this weekend. Even then, the rain chance is not a total slam dunk. We've got kind of a complex setup across the Ozarks over the next couple of days. We are still securely under this ridge of high pressure, which means unseasonably warm temperatures are going to be out there today. In fact, today, there may be a few record highs that could fall across the region, as some are expected to make it to 95 degrees. Hot, soupy across the Ozarks, especially in our southern counties near the Branson area, places like West Plains down into northern Arkansas. That's where most of the heat and humidity is going to sit through the course of the day. This is abnormally hot, by the way, and we should hold on to some of the heat and humidity as we head into Saturday as well. Heat risk is something to reintroduce back into the forecast, especially if you're going to be out enjoying some of the beautiful waterways in the Ozarks. Keep in mind, this is like the middle of summer, heat and humidity. So make sure you remember all your heat safety tips. Drink plenty of water, take breaks in the shade, and take some breaks in the air conditioning if you can. High heat, high humidity will stick around not just today, but through Saturday for some places as well. We have a stationary boundary that's going to set up in the Ozarks this weekend, and I think it's going to set up in the far northern Ozarks, closer to central Missouri. Now, that creates this boundary where we can interact with some moisture heading our way, and there will likely be sustained rain chances along that front as we head through much of Saturday. This means if you're listening north of Highway 54, let's say, your chance for rain on Saturday is really, really good. For the Springfield area and points south, you have a rain chance, but it's probably not going to rain all day. It will be more scattered in nature. We'll definitely be dealing with some rain on the radar. So have a backup plan if you have anything going on outside, but just know that there will be opportunities for rain and storms, not just Saturday, but also on Sunday, as the actual cold front doesn't come through until Sunday night into Monday. There will be some activity across the area. Again, better chances for the northern Ozarks today. I am expecting that we see the stationary boundary just kind of sit through the course of Saturday, and then it starts to make a little bit of a move by Sunday. Cold front comes through Sunday night into Monday, and that will allow for the cooler temperatures to return to the Ozarks. Today, scorching hot temperatures in the low to mid 90s area wide. There could be a few places that make it to the upper 90s today, so find a way to stay cool. Indoor activities best today for sure. Still hot on Saturday. Of course, if you're under the stationary boundary, you're closer to the area of rain activity. High temperatures will stay in the 80s. Southern counties, we're talking southern Missouri, northern Arkansas. You folks may still be in the mid 90s even on Saturday. With some scattered storms in the forecast on Sunday, high temps will fall to the 80s, and then we get the 70s back by Monday. But there will still be at least a morning rain chance with some of the showers and thunderstorms that are expected to come through. Around the country, what's making headlines? It's this widespread late summer heat that's dominating the forecast area today. This is taking the headlines for the southern and central plains, and the upper Midwest is seeing some of this high heat also. Impactful weather happened yesterday in the plains with severe weather and some of that large hail that we heard about. That activity possible for the Plains states as we head into this afternoon as well. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question for the day. The question yesterday, a hashtag. Some people call it a pound, I think. But what is the technical term for a hashtag? Do you think it is A, a tic tac, B, a quad note, C, an octothorpe, or D, pound shizzle? Well, as much as I like pound shizzle, that is not the correct answer. The correct term is an octothorpe. So if you really want to date yourself, and instead of saying like hashtag awesome, you could say octothorpe tubular if you wanted the technical terms. But yes, it is octothorpe. That is the official technical term for a hashtag. You can break that down if you know kind of the meaning behind these words. Octo at the part of that, it refers to the symbol's 8 points. I'm not sure what Thorpe is about, but octothorpe is what we went with. Pound sign is also something that I have heard it called, especially when referring to a telephone. Some people call it a number sign, but the technical term, if you want to be exact, is octothorpe. It is a versatile symbol with many names. So now you know. All the kids these days, they'll call it hashtag. All right, here's your question that I'll answer for you on Monday morning. Who was the presidential candidate with the biggest margin of victory, not counting George Washington? Do you think it was A, Abraham Lincoln, B, John Quincy Adams, C, Lyndon B. Johnson, or D, James Monroe? You can let me know your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. By the way, the gift that we're giving away for correct answers to the Brain Twister trivia questions, $50 gift card to Habaneros on South Campbell. So might as well enter. It is free to do so. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Command Family Medicine and Rescue Towing. Thank you for listening this morning. I hope you find a way to beat the heat today. We will chat again on Monday morning.